Outlander fans, we're back for episode 3 of Outlander season 3. I'm here with Amanda Spears. Welcome, Amanda. What an episode, hey?
Murta.
Hashtag everybody loves Murta. Don't they ever? And you and I especially love him.
Probably president, vice president of the fan club.
Yes.
Not that we've officially checked. But...
And I think you should be the president. I think you are the one who coined that hashtag. I'm just the one that just has completely and utterly lived my life to that hashtag because we do.
I did the gallery of Murta.
You did. We sound like complete nutters, but you know, there's a reason for this. We love Murta, but we'll go into it in more detail. So, All Debts Paid, written by Matthew B. Roberts, who frankly is one of my favorite writers on this show. Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm. Did he write Press Up Hands? Because they mentioned that a lot during this episode.
That's a good question. I think he might have, but I cannot remember, and I don't want to waste any of your time in trying to find out. But I think he might have. He's written some really good ones.
Yeah, he's written a lot of the episodes. So.
Yeah, and directed by the excellent Brendan Maher. So Starz says that in prison, Jamie discovers an old foe has become the warden and now has the power to make his life a living hell. Over the years, Claire and Frank put both their best foot forward to share a harmonious marriage, but an uninvited guest shatters this illusion, bringing their differences to light. So we know that Frank dies. We're going to talk about that at length because that's devastating. But let's focus on the good. Everybody loves Murta.
Murta. I mean, he's back. I mean, we didn't get any smart-ass lines, but he's like dying of scurvy, which I'm like looking up as...
Like really, like I thought he was dead. Like I just assumed, you know, Jamie was calling out for him on the battlefield. I thought, yeah, okay, we're not seeing him. He's not coming back.
Well, Katrina promised us kind of like when we talked to Katrina Balfe, we asked about that. We were like, can you please?
Yeah, can you give us something and
tell us about Murta? We love Murta.
Yeah, yeah. So you know what I love. Okay, there's a reason. We're not just saying this because to be funny. We love him and we love the character. It's because he's always been the voice of reason. He really kind of tells it how it is. He does not muck around. He's extremely Scottish. It's like if you could look up Scottish and you needed an image of a person, it would be a picture of him.
And loyal.
He's so loyal. And for many of the older Scottish male characters, I found some of them to be a little interchangeable personally. That's my view. You know, I haven't read the book, so I didn't know a lot of their backstories, and a lot of them for me were really interchangeable. And I was like, okay, and here's another old Scottish dude, whatevs. But never felt that way for Murta.
Yeah, he's been great.
And you know, and why is that? You think I think it's because of Duncan LaCroix. I think he's a very, very good actor, and he does not get enough credit, which is why you and I are always trying to give him the credit that he bloody well deserves.
Yeah, we're not just doing this because we like to see him retweet these things. I mean, that's always fun. But he really stands out. He does a lot with a small supporting role. Yeah. I mean, he is so critical to the story because people forget that he's the one who saved Claire from blackjack in the pilot. I'm like... So that's one of those things where it's like he's always known as Claire and Jamie, but it was so nice to see him. And my one little problem was I'm like, you know, he would not have just let himself be pushed off onto a boat. No, I kept waiting for him to go, screw you people, I'm staying with my godson.
Yeah, because he's so strong, but it's because he's so ill. He's seen enough. Like he's seen a lot, and he's done.
We better get more than one episode.
I know, because I don't know what more we're going to see. People who have read the books, if you want to spoil it and you want to put it down in the comments, I don't mind, because I don't know if we're going to follow the books.
Please don't.
Apparently in the books he dies. I don't think we were supposed to see him again.
Well, I think what they decide, I think like with Game of Thrones, just to use as a similarity, they've kind of merged things that happen to other like little minor characters into characters we've already loved.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ramsay, for example, did not marry Sansa in the books. It was some other little character.
Okay.
So it makes sense from a narrative standpoint on a television show. Take a deep breath, book readers, to have somebody we've already come to love kind of assume some of these smaller little characters that we don't really care for.
Yeah, they need to take a little bit of license. They can't follow the books religiously. They're going to have to create a show in its own right.
And Diana Gabaldon is part of the writing staff, so if she's cool with it, just go with it.
Then go with it, exactly. But maybe this is all we'll see of Murtagh. He was supposed to have died. The show is going to move on. It's going to move on in terms of its time period and its location. We know that. There's going to be a reunion at some point between Claire and Jamie. We do know that. That's not a mystery. So maybe this was a way of just saying to the fans, he didn't die. He's okay. He's been shipped off. It's all good. And we may never see him again. I really hope that's not the case.
I'm going to be really sad if it is.
And everyone's very tight-lipped about it. We're not going to hear a thing from Duncan or any of the other actors or writers, producers.
I mean, we were basically knowing he was coming back on Katrina falling off camera when we talked to her, when we asked her.
Coming back. And I remember
we going to get a Murtagh reunion with Claire?
Yeah. And we knew it. And then when we got the episodes a few weeks ago, obviously we knew it then. And I was like, it was so hard for me not to say to people that I know that love this show, hey, guess what? You know,
I know. It's really hard when you know, like we accidentally told somebody at Gold Derby who doesn't watch the show, we're like, don't tweet it.
Don't tweet it. Don't say anything. Just shush. So, yeah. So there's a lot to unpack in this episode, but let's talk about saying goodbye to Frank. I've got to say this, and maybe you don't agree, but I don't think they did it. They did it in a very undramatic way. It was like someone walks in and says, sorry, but Frank died. And then she was a little sad, and then that's it. We got nothing.
I think it kind of gives his last big monologue. They had two big fights this episode. Yeah. And the first one was, I don't want a divorce because I love Brianna, and I want to be in her life. Yeah. And then the second was she's 18 years old. You're never going to love me. You're never going to even kind of remotely be able to coexist with me. I want to live the rest of my life with some happiness, which frankly, can you blame him? He's been cuckolded. There's a $10 word for you. He's raising a kid that's not his willingly. It kind of makes sense, that big speech he gives being the last big scene of Tobias. Okay. And then to have Katrina really get her first big standing kind of shining moment this season when she does say goodbye to him. To say, I loved you. You were first. Thank you so much. So for me, I think it did kind of work because I didn't need to see him. For Frank, it was a very good ending. And if this is it for Tobias Menzies, please submit yourself for guest actor. Please. Please.
Yeah. You would think
we will be writing stories for the next year trying to help you out if we can.
That's right. If he doesn't come back in flashbacks or as a ghost, which I doubt, then yes, he will have been in 3 episodes out of how many are they going to be in this season? I do not know. It's 10 or 12. So I think we're good. I think he can do it. And stars, they're pretty savvy. They will probably do that. And if not, we will have something to say about it.
We know the publicist. Please submit him as a guest.
Our opinion probably means nothing, but still, I think that's a really good call. And hopefully that will happen because he'll have a really good shot in guest acting. Because to tell you what, in this current Emmy season, the Emmy ballot for the guest actors was really quite thin. And he would have easily have made it in this year, I think. So, yeah, that's a good point.
And you never know, what next year's going to be. And
yeah.
But, Game of Thrones has shown its hand. So they were very strategic and smart and make sure that a lot of those people couldn't just go, you know what, this is the second to last season. Screw you people. I'm going to submit myself in the guest category.
Yeah.
Because some of them popped up in one, you just see them off in the corner. You're like, yeah, they're trying to keep them out of those they're trying to keep them out of the guest categories, clearly. But it does absolutely make sense for someone like Tobias. He is a very well-respected actor. We talked about this earlier, but he's in Game of Thrones. You should have submitted yourself. He's in Catastrophe, which I think is his most horrifying role.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that first episode he appeared in season 1, I'm like, I wouldn't let you near me.
I just saw that 3 days ago. I watched it again. It happened to be on cable, and I was flicking, and I had to watch the whole scene. And I was like, "You are ghastly. You are the worst Doctor ever." It was such a good scene, but we digress.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm like, I'd rather deal with Black Jack than
him.
Black guy.
And to come to think of it, you know, with Frank dying, he does before he dies have an affair with Sandy, and there's that whole kind of arrangement.
Like an open marriage kind of a thing.
Interesting. Very interesting. So that whole chapter seems to have closed now, and we are now moving forward. Let's cut back to, like, you know, Jamie's storyline. David Berry makes his first appearance, an Australian actor that I'm very familiar with. We even saw him the other day at a premiere, like just happened to walk past. So he's out and about in Australia, and he's in a TV show here. He plays John Gray, he's the warden of the jail.
My fake American accent.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, he probably has to master that, because that's where he gets all of his work now. But he's the warden of the jail where Red Jamie is being held, and they have an interesting dynamic, because obviously John Gray just wants to kind of eat Jamie alive. He just obviously is very attracted to him, and Jamie, for some reason, and I don't quite understand why, seems to have some kind of respect for the guy.
Well, it's that whole Presto. I mean, I got a lot of Presto pans, and that was one of my favorite, like, flirty scenes, was when Claire played Jamie's prisoner, and he was like figuring it out as this was going on. Yeah, exactly. So that was a fun episode to kind of have as such a big weight to it. We didn't think about it at the time. At the time, it was just this cute, like, little role play thing. Like, Murtaugh's just over there watching, like, yep, here these two go again.
There they go again. So then Jamie is sent to Hellwater because he's not being pardoned by the king. The other guys are being sent to America to be indentured for 14 years. We've got all that stuff. That's all exposition. There's a lot of that in these episodes, just getting the storyline out. They're trying to move it forward efficiently and smartly. We can kind of see that happening.
I forgot about the indentured servitude part of the South.
Yeah,
that's really talked about a lot.
Yeah,
they did that a lot with the Irish too. So it's an interesting, if they're going to explore that angle. Again, we don't read the books. It is an interesting aspect to explore. Yeah,
it's an area of history that I'm very unfamiliar with. So I'd love to.
I just read a book on it, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. So people are serving time down in the South, kind of like. It's like what you know, Australia started as a penal colony. So most of the people who started this country were convicts, and so it's a similar dynamic, I suppose. Then, from what all of Jamie's colleagues are now being sent over there to work for a few years to kind of pay off until
14 years is not a few years, but yeah,
it's a lifetime.
That's your life.
Yeah, it is. So that's really, we had all of that to unpack, but really it was all about, we got to see Murtaugh again, and Frank is now gone, and so the show is going to now, I think, really shift and move forward towards hopefully the climactic reunion of our two lovebirds.
I can't remember, how many years did they spend apart? Like 10?
That's a bloody good question.
18? 18 is it?
Something like that. Someone please comment and tell us who, you know, we just don't. We can't remember all the details.
Remember.
But all right, so we'll be back next week to talk about episode 4. And we'll see how we go. Thanks again for joining me, Amanda, and good luck with all of your Outlander galleries. Everyone, please make sure you check them out.